Good afternoon. My name is Michael, and this is Chase and Nathan. We are the Cornfed Coverage Podcast, and we talk all things college football and NFL football for the time being. And so we'll just hop into what we're going to discuss. Chase, what were your thoughts on that Nebraska Akron game?
Feels good to be 2-0. Just keep stacking the wins one game at a time. I actually got to be down in the rail yard for this game, tailgate a little bit. It's fun being down there. Um, and just when you're playing a lower, I don't want to say Akron's a lower level team. They're a D1 team. When you're playing a team like that, I like to see execution. Defense put up a goose egg. We had 31 first downs, so it's nice just being able to move the ball consistently. You guys didn't know our punter, his family came from Australia too, and they didn't get to see us punt the ball once. So hopefully the family comes down for another game. But yeah, just complete utter domination. 68-0. I don't remember a dominant win like this for a while. Like we've beat teams like 49-0 or something, but nothing like 68-0.
2009
Um,
Holiday Bowl was the last time we shut out an opponent.
is it really that Arizona game with
Arizona
Rex
Holiday
Burkhead?
Bowl. Yep. That is the last time
Yeah, I remember that game.
Nebraska had a official shutout. But the last time we scored more than 68 points was that Idaho State game back in I don't even know what year that was, like 2012.
2012, I believe.
Yeah. So I just wanted to interject there because that is mind blowing. It's been almost 20 years since Nebraska shut out an opponent.
I think Matt Rule kind of brings that on too. If you saw that halftime speech that he gave, I,
Made me
In
want to run through a
theory,
brick wall.
but yeah, I'll bring it over to Nathan. What do you think about the game?
I to piggyback off of you, it was really great to see a shutout of a lower tier team. I would agree Akron is a good football team. They are not Big Ten level football team, but they went out there and they gave it their all. However, it was great to see Dylan have the most passing yards of his career, as well as other career highs across the board for the team. Um, Special teams executed. It was great. The one thing I would like to see a little bit more of is a little bit more of a cleaner game. We did have quite a few penalties for 71 yards. So I'd like to see him kind of play a little bit cleaner, have a little bit better technique. But it was great, great night game, good atmosphere. We did have five-star commit Torrey Pittman in from Omaha Central. So, when you have a guy like that who can go out and peer recruit after seeing an atmosphere like that, it only helps bolster the class. And, I think that this is a really great show of force for the team. We got to see a lot of different linemen on. We saw 17 different offensive linemen in rotation tonight, and that those reps that those guys got are going to be invaluable come later in the season. Uh, but it was great. I just love to see a win like that. TJ Lateef looked great, uh, electric. So that gives us exciting things to think about for the future. What about you, Michael?
To really piggyback off what you guys just said, with regards to the peer recruiting that Torrey Pittman, and Trey Taylor, who was a four-star quarterback, was also in town this past weekend. Peer recruiting with Torrey Pittman is a huge thing for our recruiting. Uh, it's nice to finally give recruits what Nebraska football should look like on a day-to-day basis. Um, Being able to have, I think Nebraska hosted over 15 recruits just for that Akron game. To be able to win in that kind of a style and being able to put BTA to Akron is just phenomenal for Nebraska's culture. To be able to actually have a shutout game for the first time in almost 20 years is stellar. In that halftime speech that Matt Rule gave, he was pissed that Nebraska's defense almost gave up that field goal right before half and almost gave up that shutout. Now, luckily, they missed the field goal. Nebraska continues to operate the way that we're doing the entire first half of the game. Um, Over doubled our points in that second half too. So it was really, really nice to actually see our offense fire on all cylinders for. I mean, I don't know if I've seen our offense elevate to that style of play since Matt Rule has been here. So that was really cool to see. It was John Butler's second or third game as the official DC for the Cornhuskers, of which is putting our defense in the top 5 for the pass yards allowed per game category. Our defense didn't even reach that category last year. We didn't even crack the top 20 in defensive pass yards allowed. So I thought that was a huge improvement. Um, like you said, Nathan, TJ Lateef had a great game. Um, After Dylan Raiola threw for over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. Another really huge thing that we saw, Quinn Clark, who was a recruit we got last year, finally hit the field. He is from Nebraska as well. So it was really cool to see old Nebraska high school product get onto the field and score his first touchdown as a Husker too. So that was really cool. Um, One other thing I'd like to add, TJ Lateef had over 130 pass yards in a quarter and a half of football. You guys want to take a guess at how many pass yards Mark Gronowski from Iowa has had in a total of 2 games? 84 yards. Our backup quarterback has more pass yards in a game in a quarter and a half than the Iowa starting quarterback, which I love. I love that fact. So
And
I
all the
thought that
Iowa
was
fans
really
were
cool.
hyped about getting him too from South Dakota State. They're like, we finally have a quarterback this year. You guys watch out.
Iowa's
I
pass
mean,
game
he hasn't looked
still
the
is
best so far.
no, it's continued to struggle. So I don't know what Iowa's got going on over there, but who knows? Maybe they'll figure it
Long
out.
season ahead, but we'll see what happens. It's not
Right.
looking pretty.
But I thought that was a really cool stat that I saw. Emmett Johnson had another over 100-yard rushing game, so I don't know when the last time Nebraska had back-to-back 100-yard rushers. I can't think of anything at least as of recently with Matt Rule being here. So that was really cool to see. Another thing, like you guys said, Nathan, you said how many offensive linemen saw the field? You said
17
27?
different.
17?
17.
17. Yep. Yep. No, I gotcha. Our D line, Cade Pietzak, I don't know how to pronounce his
He
last name.
check.
Piechek. Um, he was a true freshman and he was able to record a safety in the first time he's played in a Nebraska game. So I thought that was really cool too. Now, moving forward to move on from that 68-0 outing from the Nebraska Cornhuskers, they've got Houston Christian University, of whom I have never heard of before. But they're getting paid, I think, right around 900,000 to $1 million to come to Memorial Stadium this season. Um, I haven't delved too deep into what players they have, but the way I see that game going is almost the same way that Akron game went. As long as Nebraska goes out there, does what they are expected and supposed to do, we should win that game handedly. Be able to put it in our rearview mirror by like 5 o'clock Saturday afternoon, and then hopefully the fellows and the coaches can start prepping for Michigan. But you never know. Hopefully we just see our offense fire on all cylinders like we did before, along with our defense, just playing stout defense, keeping everything in front of them, no big plays. What do you think, Nathan? Do you think Nebraska puts up more points than we did against Akron or less?
I think we're putting up 50. So a little bit less than we just did. Um, they do have a good running back. He's got 27 touches, 200 yards, and 4 touchdowns on the season so far. So he's not a joke by any means. their quarterback is a little inconsistent, so we'll see if our secondary will have any opportunities to create some turnovers, which would be great to see. I love watching the safeties and the corners pick that ball off. It's
So
great.
Ne- has Nebraska been plus on the turnover ratio then through these two games? Because we didn't.
We were tied with Akron. And I think Cincy had a turnover or two. And did we have any turnovers in that game? I don't think
Riola
so.
didn't throw a pick at all. Riola is pickless through the season, so I know that for a fact.
Cincy for sure fumbled, and then they threw that pick at the end of the game.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Gotcha. So yeah, Nathan, continue. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. So I think that it's a great opportunity for the team to build momentum going towards Michigan. I'd like to see him execute on all cylinders. So I'm just really hoping to see a good outing from the team. What about you, Chase?
Yeah, I'm also expecting a lot of the same. I think we're going to put up another goose egg. I'll go with a little less points, and I'll go 49-0.
Back-to-back
But kind of what I
shutout.
want to see from the guys is I want to see them come out hard. I don't want them thinking about Michigan yet, even though us three might be thinking about Michigan. Um, I'm not too worried about that with Matt Rule. He seems like the type to have the guys focused at the task on hand. But yeah, I just want to come out strong, fast, and just keep building on this momentum.
And that makes the most sense just because with Houston Christian, I'm sure we'll treat him just like Akron, with the same mentality and attitude as well. And that's the way we should be treating this game because you definitely don't want your players looking a week ahead and instead of focusing on what's in front of them. So hopefully by the time we record next week, we can say the Skurs are 3-0 and get to focus on Michigan. So it'll be fun to
Say
watch.
any given Saturday for a reason.
Exactly. Exactly. But we hope that doesn't happen in Nebraska's case. So, but moving on from Nebraska to Houston Christian, with regards to that, the college football week 2 slate, there was some good games last week and some sleeper games that not a lot of people were expecting. You
Yeah, the
saw
SMU Baylor game.
Yep, you saw SMU Baylor, you saw USF in Florida, right? Or who'd USF play last week?
Florida. They
That's
won
right.
that low scoring game.
That's right. So there was that game. There was obviously the Cyhawk game, Iowa versus Iowa State. Um, and then there was a game you specifically wanted to talk about, correct?
Sorry, you froze up there a little bit. What were you just saying?
There was a game that you specifically wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I could. I'll start with the Michigan Oklahoma game. Since we do have Michigan kind of on the horizon. Super close during the game, but I kind of went back, rewatched some of the highlights, looked at the box score, and John Mateer, he looks really good. And I was looking at DraftKings. He's now the Heisman favorite too. So
Wow.
I don't know. Oklahoma may need to be considered in for sure the playoff conversation, but maybe even national championship contender. Maybe I just keep overvaluing these teams, but I thought they played really good on defense too. Bryce Underwood only completed 9 passes that game. I saw Bryce Underwood's potential, but he didn't quite have it in that game. It was his first road start, so we'll see. We got a lot of room to improve. Um, I think Oklahoma's going to be good this year. They have a really hard schedule though. They got to play at Georgia, I think, at Texas.
Do they play
They might go
Bama
at
too?
LSU too. But yeah, I think Oklahoma sneaky national championship contender if they can sneak in the playoffs.
Dark horse?
They are a dark horse.
There we go.
What about you, Michael? Did you want to talk about the Iowa State game?
Man, I'll gladly talk about that Iowa State game. I am more than happy to report that Iowa lost once again to Iowa State for 2 years in a row now. Being able to watch that game I also bet Iowa State -3. So it pushed, but that's a-okay because I had a 5-leg parlay and SMU threw the game away for me and made me want to punch a hole through a pony, but that's okay. That is a-okay. Um,
Interesting saying.
the Iowa State game, obviously not a lot of scoring. It ended 16-13. Um, and so Mark Gronowski didn't have a stellar game. He could barely throw the ball. Um, and so being able to just watch Iowa lose to Iowa State again, I loved. I loved watching it. Obviously was not very offense heavy, mainly defense. Iowa State forced a good amount of turnovers. And one thing that was odd is that Iowa's defense contained Rocco Becht like more than I thought they were going to. I like last week I said I thought Iowa State was gonna turn on the burners and start scoring more points against them. Now, obviously, I was wrong in that fact and ended up being a really close game and a really low scoring game. And if you think about it, traditionally, that Iowa State game is low scoring. So I was just being hopeful that Iowa State would be able to go and score on Iowa's defense.
It's
Um,
what Iowa does to teams. They just muck it up. They chew clock. They're always in these weird
they kind of
17, 14, 16,
they kind of just wait for their defense to
19.
they kind of just wait for their defense to try and make the opposing team's offense make a mistake and then just capitalize on that. And at one point, I thought that was going to
It's
happen.
brand.
Yeah, it is Iowa's brand for sure. But it was great to watch. Obviously, I didn't win any money on that 5-leg parlay because of Nathan's dark horse Big 12 pick being able to mount a 14-point comeback with about 5.5 minutes left in the game. But it was good football to watch, so I was happy with that. Uh, Nathan, did you want to talk about your Big 12 champ pick actually winning a game they weren't supposed to win?
Yeah, so Baylor upset SMU. That's a great one to put under your belt for Dave Aranda. Um, so we'll see kind of what transpires, but Sawyer Robertson looked stellar in that game. 4 touchdowns, over 400 passing yards. Like that's not a okay feat. That's a great feat in college football. So it it bodes well for the rest of the season. We'll see. We'll leave it at that and see what transpires next week.
Did
Yeah.
With
you
Baylor, I'm just scared of their defense more than anything. There might be in a lot of shootouts. Maybe Sawyer Robinson can be a little Heisman sneaky pick, especially if they're just going to be airing it out and behind a lot. Or not behind, but in these shootout games.
That's that Big 12 football.
Well,
Yeah.
I was with Johnny for his birthday and we were watching that game and we turned it off because we thought SMU and we just needed them to win the game. We didn't even need them to cover. So we turned it off and then we get to Beer House and next thing we know, Baylor's mounting a comeback with 5.5 minutes left and I'm losing my freaking brain at Beer House. I was just,
Don't doubt on Robertson.
yeah, but if you're up 14 with 5.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, you would think that's you run out the clock and you just march downfield. Clearly, Baylor had other plans and were able to upset a ranked SMU team.
Did you watch
A
any
lot of that
football on
recently.
Sunday?
I wasn't able to watch much
Lots
football
of
Sunday.
lots of comebacks on Sunday.
Both the Sunday night game and the Monday night game kind of had
Yeah.
late comebacks.
Yeah. So
Prime time squad.
what games would you guys like to talk about in this loaded week 1 of NFL?
It was overall a pretty good weekend. Got the NFL back week 1. Had some pretty great games to watch. What about you, Chase? What do you think?
Yeah, I was especially happy about the Chargers. For those of you that don't know, I'm also a diehard Charger fan, along with being a diehard Husker fan. So that was great to finally slay the beast. It was our first time beating the Chiefs since 2021. It's been a long time coming. They always seem to barely beat us, so it was nice to hold on. Herbert looks like an MVP candidate, I think. I mean, looked great in that game. He has the confidence that I've never seen before. He has that moxie. Jim Harbaugh's brought it out of him. Something looks different about them Chargers this year. But to go into my picks, I went 0-2 on the picks that I gave out here. My first pick was the Bengals minus 4.5, I think was at the time of this recording, and they only won by 1 point. But Bengals defense played all right. Their offense had 7 total yards in the second half, so I don't know what was going on there. And then the other one, I had Ravens money line. They were up 14 points with about 4 or 5 minutes left when Derrick Henry fumbled the ball. 3 plays later, Josh Allen gets it in the end zone. Ravens get the ball back. There's a 4th and 2. And in my head, I'm like, they have to go for this. They have to go for this because if they punt the ball, Josh Allen's going to win the game. They punt the ball. Josh Allen just launches 2 passes. They're in the field goal range, and they kick a field goal and win the game. This week, I've studied some film, done some research, and I'll have some better picks for you guys. How'd your NFL weekend go, Michael?
Oh, I wasn't able to watch my Patriots, but I don't even want to talk about that game, guys. I don't. We had the lead. We were up. We were up 10-7 at half. And then all of a sudden, for some unbeknownst reason, we could not score a touchdown. We had 1 field goal in the second half of the game. Are you joking? We just drafted Travion Henderson in the first round with the 3rd pick in the NFL draft, and we're going to give him 6 touches for 40 yards? Are you joking, Josh McDaniels? Come on now.
Was it Ramondre Stevenson all right?
We had 64 yards rushing that entire game. We did not run the ball like we should have. We had Drake May passing the ball 40 different times like we have some stellar wide receiver core. We have a washed up Stephon Diggs, and we have a
short.
I am holding
Don't
myself.
forget Butte.
I was just about to get to Kayshawn. He had a great game. He had over 100 yards receiving. He had 6 receptions. That was the lone bright spot of the game. Drake May threw for a touchdown and a pick. He was like 32 of 40 for, I want to say, like 200 yards, a touchdown and a pick. Nothing like to write home about, unfortunately. And, I was kind of hoping Drake May would have a better game, but you can't win them all. And unfortunately, I was wrong on that side. So anyone that followed that, I do believe in Drake May. I mean, he's gone through 2 different coaches and 2 different OCs and back-to-back years. So we'll see about how that goes. But you never know. You never know. And, I hope Vrabes will figure it out and sit down with Josh McDaniels and try and figure out a better offensive scheme for Drake May. Because clearly we can't pass the ball 40 times and expect to win a game, because that's not going to happen. I also thought Stephon Diggs would have had a better game. He had 6 receptions, which is awesome because he tied Kayshawn for it. But Kayshawn was able to get a lot of yards after the catch, whereas Stephon Diggs was mainly double teamed or double covered most of the time he was on the field. So there were a couple of different things that could go into that as well. But anyone who listened to my Patriots minus 2.5, I'm sorry, and I'll make it better this week, okay? So don't you worry about it. It's 1 game out of 16, 17 games of the season. I still do believe Patriots get over 8 wins, just like I said at the beginning of the season. It gets a little bit harder to see considering we lost to the Raiders and Geno Smith of all quarterbacks, but it's 1 week. It's 1 week and we move on. So I'm sure Drake will watch film and figure out things he could have done better versus what happened. So another game that I wanted to talk about was that Bills Ravens game, just like you guys were talking about. I did not foresee the Bills making that kind of a comeback against the Baltimore Ravens with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry at the helm. Um, One thing that was astounding to me is that Derrick Henry was able to run all over Bills Mafia in the first half, and then the Bills DC must have really had a coming to God moment and said, you know what, Derrick Henry's running the ball over us, and we're going to stop that. Um, and to Bill's credit, they did. They were able to kind of change that and force Lamar to make some plays. Obviously Lamar did every so often, but Josh Allen, that that man's that man's he literally after the game said, "Never count us out." Cuz he was mad that fans started leaving the stadium early when they were down those
Yeah.
14 points.
Yeah, he's like, you guys should have had more belief or something.
Yeah. And I was like, that's a dog right there. And Josh Allen's a great quarterback. Me being a fan of this team, I hate the Bills and will forever hate the Bills. But ball knowers have to admire ball knowers, and Josh Allen is in fact a certified ball knower. So good for the Bills getting that huge win. I thought that might be an AFC Championship game. We got a little
Could
preview
be huge
of.
to decide where the AFC Championship game takes place. Might
Yep,
be in Buffalo now just because of that game.
exactly, exactly. So I thought that was a really fun game to watch for our first Sunday night football game. And then we got JJ McCarthy coming back against the Bears of all teams on a Monday night football. And
Yeah, I thought he showed a lot of heart. I mean, I feel like I haven't seen a quarterback look that bad and kind of like confused. He looked like deer in the headlights that whole first half, and he starts the second half throwing that pick six. But he just stayed in there and he kept making plays. He believed in himself. Kevin O'Connell let him break down the locker room after the game. I don't know. JJ has a lot of moxie. He just seems like a winning football player.
he kind of reminded me of a young Kirk Cousins a little bit, like with the mentality side of
Yeah.
things, because Kirk was always vocal about like, uh, I I watched that quarterback series, and in that series, he always talked about his mental battle with like losing that starting job to Michael Penix and how that Atlanta situation went on. And that
Mhm.
mentality that he was talking about, I kind of saw that in JJ because like you said, deer in the headlights that entire first half. Their offense was abysmal. Justin
Mhm.
Jefferson was, I think he only had like 7 or 8 points at the first after the first half of the game, and then he wound up with 16 to 20 or a little over 20 after that game ended.
Yeah,
But he got that touchdown catch, which helped out a lot. And then I don't know if you guys saw it, but JJ McCarthy running that ball into the end zone, and he took a lick at that goal line, and just being able to see him reach it, it was I don't know what it was. It was just really cool to watch though.
I think he only had 55 passing yards going into the fourth quarter, and then counted for 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter.
You just it was really cool to watch, especially since we didn't get to watch him last year at all when since he got injured in the preseason. So it's cool seeing JJ out there balling finally, and um being able to watch him develop and see what he's learned. He beat a the Bears kind of looked decent. Their defense at least kind of looked decent. But then fell apart, obviously. But
I think
you
Caleb
know,
Williams still has a way to go. Besides that, like first scripted drive where they like had all the plays already decided what they were going to run, he didn't look the best. Missed a couple wide open guys.
on DJ Moore only had one touchdown catch, or did he just have a long
I
catch?
don't think he had a touchdown.
Because I had a notification pop up, and I think I thought it was a long reception, but I might be wrong. But Nathan, did you already recap week 1 NFL games? Cool. Cool. So then we can move on to week 3 for NFL. Now I will go ahead and yeah, I said week 3. I meant
That's
week
fine. It's week 3
2.
for college football.
Sorry about that, whoever's tuning in, but we upload the pod raw and unfiltered, and that's why we're here. So sorry about that. But for week
Michael.
2 of the NFL games, what games would you like to address? Nathan, you can go
I can
first, or
start.
Chase.
One of the games I like is the Cowboys over the Giants, specifically the Cowboys minus 5.5 over the Giants. I think there's kind of some bad vibes going on with the Giants right now. I thought Russell Wilson looked really bad, and Dable says Russell Wilson's going to start again. So I thought Dak looked good. I think people forgot about Dak because he was injured last year. They laid this huge line of 8.5 against the Eagles. Dak easily covered. It looked pretty good. I think the Cowboys' offense is going to explode. They need this game if they want to stay competitive with the Eagles in the NFC East. They can't drop to 0-2 and 0-2 in the division. So I like the Cowboys to win big. And then for my second game, I'm going to go with the Colts as a slight underdog to the Broncos at home. The Colts really impressed me last week. I think they've always kind of had a good roster, but Anthony Richardson just couldn't even make like the on rhythm throws, the easy throws you got to make. He can only make huge highlight throws and then oversale guys. So I think Daniel Jones, they may have unlocked something there. Their defense looks good. TJ Warren looked good. And as a Charger fan, I would love to see the Donkeys lose. So give me the Colts.
There you go.
Okay.
What about you, Nathan?
So for me, for week 2, as you can guess, we're going to go with the Niners over the Saints. Even with our injuries, I think that Mac Jones can step into Kyle Shanahan's system, and he's capable enough to deliver a win against the Saints team. That's not a knock on them, but more so a testament to our team. I think that even without a couple key players out there, we're going to be able to pull off the win. And the line opened up pretty high. It's dropped quite a few points since the injury news has come out. So I think that we kind of make it out of here, limping a little bit. I think we take it 17-7. And then with my second pick, I think I'm going with the Eagles over the Chiefs in week 2. The Eagles just looked really good week 1. Can't really turn that away, especially against Patrick Mahomes. It would be great to see them lose another one, just because they always figure it out. Let them lose a couple here and there. It's good for the soul. But those are kind of my picks for this week. Michael, what about you?
That's so funny. I'm right there with you. I hope the Chiefs start off 0-2, and I think with Saquon Barkley, I don't think the Eagles will have a hard time running the ball against them. It might wind up being a shootout, but it really kind of relies on how that Eagles defense plays against Patrick Mahomes. Now, I don't know much about the Eagles secondary too much. But they're going to be tested with battling those Chiefs wide receivers on the perimeter. So they're going to have to stay with those wide receivers if Mahomes gets forced out of the pocket. Because we all know once Mahomes leaves that pocket, we have no clue what's going to happen next. So,
He's
and
a
that's
dangerous
just
man.
part of Mahomes' game. You can't let him leave the pocket and find more time. Otherwise, he's going to find those wide open receivers, or even he's going to find that 10% window to throw the ball into, and he's gonna drill that throw right to the receiver's chest. So it
He
just really
always seems to make those plays when they
yeah.
matter most.
Well, you
Yeah.
saw last week he literally was about to get sacked, and all of a sudden he's like falling to the ground, but winds up like tossing the ball, like flicking it
Yeah.
or underhanding
Had that
it,
one little play.
or
He's an acrobat.
I didn't even know how he made that play, but he made it, and it was a completed pass for 10 yards and a first down. So if the Eagles can stop Mahomes from escaping the pocket like that, they'll be successful. And then I don't think we have to worry about the Eagles offense and functioning the way they want to function, which is if Jalen Hurts sees a wide open lane, he's going to take the ball and run because he sure as hell isn't going to throw it to A.J. Brown, who had one reception for 6 yards last week, which
And we'll
wound
see.
up.
Chargers were able to throw the ball pretty easily against the Chiefs defense. They kind of stopped our running game a little bit, but
They were
we
airing it
showed
out
out.
quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know if the Eagles will be able to take advantage of that quite as much. I mean, they have the receivers, but I don't know if Hurts will air it out quite as much as we did.
yeah,
Well,
especially
and
with
I've seen reports that Jalen Carter is going to be suspended due to the Spitgate incident
Dak
that
spat on
occurred.
him first.
So I'm
Bet on
not
the ground.
confirmed yet, but I think that he might get suspended. So that could be a big difference maker in containing Mahomes. But Michael, what games were you thinking for week 2 in the NFL?
So obviously I wanted Eagles. But my second game, I'm going Patriots, baby. I think we're beating Miami. I do not care that they got Tyreek. They got Tua. Who cares? Who cares? Because Pats Nation is going to freaking arrive and we're going to be there for our team just like we always have. And, I don't know if we cover. I really don't. Do I
Your
care if we
underdogs.
cover?
So,
Not really, because we're going to win that freaking game. Who cares? So if you guys think you want to take Pats plus whatever that line is, do it. Because we're winning that game. Josh McDaniels needs to know they drafted Travion Henderson to run the damn ball. That's what we need to frickin' do. Otherwise, we're going to have a repeat of the Raiders game with Drake May having to throw 40 different times to our wide receivers, of which our best one is Stephon Diggs. And you guys know he's kind of trending downwards with the way teams have been letting him go and everything. But I have the Patriots winning that game. I think it will be close, considering the Dolphins didn't have a stellar week 1 either. So you're going to get 2 winless teams battling to get their first win, and it's a intra-divisional game too. So hopefully the players find that pride of not losing to the Miami frickin' Dolphins and put that on their chest to make sure that they walk into that game with that mentality of we need to win. We need to get
kind
this
of a
off
must
our
win.
shoulders.
I mean, if
Yes.
you guys lose to the Dolphins and Raiders to start the season, like where are the Patriots ranked in the whole scheme of the NFL? Probably not very high.
To reference
Good
Big Cat's
outlook for the
power.
draft pick.
No, we should not be battling for the first pick in the what would be the third week of the NFL after this week. We don't want that. That's not the mentality we need for this season. But to each their own. It's a beautiful game of football, and I will be more than happy just to be able to watch it. Because that'd be more than being able to do what I watched last week. I just got to watch the box score in agony every single time. So, hopefully, I can find the game somewhere, be able to just tune in, diagnose what's going on, and figure out what they can
Your
do
Stream East
better.
is back.
Are they?
Stream East is risen.
Yep.
I might have to check that out. But did you guys have anything else you'd like to say with regards to week 2 of the NFL or week 3 of college before we go ahead and let our viewers go for the night?
I guess just to add on, I feel like this Nebraska season feels different. So I'm just excited to see more football.
Yes, sir. What about you, Nathan?
So one game that I would like to highlight for week 3 of the college football season is I do think that Notre Dame is going to win this one as it's kind of hitting them in the face as a must-win ball game against Texas A&M. With the loss to Miami, they can't really afford to take another early season loss in the committee's eyes, at least as far as I'm concerned. But I do think that they are going to come out on top of that one. But past that, that's kind of all I really wanted to add.
There we
I like
go.
that. Notre Dame's coming off a early bye too. They didn't even play last week, so and I thought their
Yeah.
quarterback looked a lot better in the second half against Miami. So I'm also
What
with
was
Notre Dame.
well, was that Miami score? Was it pretty close? I didn't get a chance to watch them
It was
play.
a close game. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
Notre
Freeman's
Dame,
going
they
to
were
get
down.
them right.
Notre Dame was down 10, I think, to start the fourth quarter, and they came all the way back to tie it. But then Miami got into field goal range and kicked a field goal close to when time was expiring. It was at the end of the game.
Well, it's good to hear that Notre Dame's still putting up a fight against a pretty good Miami team because Carson Beck there was so much speculation about him down in Miami about if that was the right fit for him, but clearly with beating Notre Dame, Miami probably thinks they've got their guy. So we got an
He's looked pretty
exciting
good
week
so far.
3. We got an exciting week 3 ahead of us for college and a week 2 for NFL. I hope all of your guys' bets hit for this weekend. I hope all of our teams win and we stay injury free for the following weeks ahead. My name is Michael, and that is Chase and Nathan, and we are the Cornfed Coverage Podcast. And Chase has one more thing to say.
You made it this far and you've liked what we said, should hit that subscribe button. Doesn't all you guys got to do is press a button, but it's going to help us out a lot.
Yep.
We want to hear your thoughts. Give us your thoughts on the week and what the outlook looks like for you, in your opinion.
Yep. As usual, do not forget to follow, like, and subscribe. Share your guys' comments with regards to your college football or NFL takes or any viewpoints you guys got on our takes for this week. And we hope you guys have a stellar rest of your week. And as usual, go Big Red. We're signing off. Have a great rest of your evening.